I'm Gavin Griffiths. I'm from Simsbury, Connecticut. I'm 6'7". I go to Kingswood School in West Hartford. My goal is to be the best player in New England and one of the better players in the country.
Definitely a lot of great players in my class in New England. I definitely consider myself one of the top players. I'm Gavin Griffiths. I'm from Simsbury, Connecticut. Mid-range first, or you want to shoot threes? So I'm Coach Brad Seaman. I've been here now 6 years at Kingswood, and I've been coaching Gavin or training with him since he was in 7th grade. The best part of Gavin's game is his innate ability to score with a lot of pressure on. You know, the story that I think of when I knew Gavin was going to be a special talent was he went from swinging JV varsity at Simsbury High School as a freshman. Before Kingswood Oxford, I took 1 year at Simsbury High School, which really helped me develop. I wasn't one of the better players on the team, so I had to play in the shadow of a bunch of the better players on the team. And when he came in here, we decided we wanted to start playing better schools. So we decided we were going to play St. Andrews, which was defending their Class A championship. So I was nervous because Gavin had only been playing JV varsity, played AAU that spring, and he came in and dropped 33 points against the defending AA champs. And he got buckets, and they were not easing up. It was an intense game back and forth, and he wasn't fazed. So coming in as a freshman and unnoticed, lots of pressure against an unbelievable program that has put players in the NBA and had Michael Carter-Williams the Rookie of the Year, to go against a team like that and to come in and show up at an away game, that's when I knew he had something special. He had the right mentality of how to score in big moments. I decided to come to KO and reclass because I really thought it would help me mature as a basketball player a lot and get some better exposure. I first met Gavin when he was applying, so 2 years ago, and then I'm an assistant coach, so we worked with him last year and this year on the team. I was also Gavin's study hall proctor when he was a freshman, so that's when we got to know each other really well. Study hall, they have an hour in which they have to do schoolwork or some other activity. So, Gavin early on just came and sat next to me, and we would watch basketball film or, just talk about different things. And something that struck me was how much he loved basketball. I like everything about basketball, but my favorite part, I love scoring, and scoring is probably my favorite part. A lot of guys like to play basketball and watch highlights, but Gavin really loves the X's and O's, the specifics on how moves work, and he's really driven to get better. So Gavin's game is unique, and by no means do I want to be an overstating coach with unidealistic spots for Gavin. My thoughts on Gavin's game, and to best describe Gavin, would be it's very similar to Kevin Durant. Now, is he Kevin Durant? No. Can he get there someday? Who knows? His work ethic and getting there will be a whole different ball game. But his game is similar in a sense where he can score, he can put it on the deck. If he needs to, he can get to the rim and get us a bucket. He can guard 2 through 4. And much like, where if you're going to compare them to the best in the world, now obviously, he's a sophomore in high school, but he does things that are much more similar to a Kevin Durant than to a LeBron?
I would describe my game, I kind of play outside in, meaning like I'm a really good shooter, but I can also attack the basket well, and I can score at all 3 levels. Scoring is probably what I do best. It's a great feeling when you dunk, especially when you dunk on someone. There's no other feeling like it. We have this winter tournament. We have a winter tournament called the KITs where we get a really big crowd, and so we were breaking the press, and I had a breakaway, and there was one man back. I just kind of put it right on him.
I'm Gavin Griffiths, Gavin's brother. It's a lot of fun to watch him play because he runs up the floor really quick, gets a lot of dunks, hits threes in people's faces.
And was he the reason you wanted to play basketball too?
Yeah, he definitely inspired me to play.
I always wanted to play basketball because both my parents played Division I basketball at University of Hartford, and my siblings also played basketball too. Between me and my dad could definitely do some crazy dunks. He has some poster dunks that he had in college, but I think I got more bounce.
Hi, I'm Larry Griffiths, Gavin's dad. You know, one of the early memories of Gavin where I could really tell he was going to be different was in 5th grade. We had a really good travel basketball team, and we won a whole bunch of games in a row, I think 14 or 15. And then when we finally lost one, it was late January, I think mid-late January, and we came home and it was snowing outside, and he went out in the driveway and started shooting. And I took video of that, and I posted it on Facebook, and people were recounting the story of Dick Vitale driving around Michigan and seeing the snow, and Magic Johnson had shoveled off a court to shoot on, and who does that kind of thing. So it was kind of like not a lot of 5th graders are going to go out there and shoot in the snow. I think he had gloves on, and you could see the snow coming down. But he was, he didn't like losing, and he knew how to get better, and that was just by going out there and working harder at it. And that was sort of one of those early times you could tell he was just going to be different. Well, in Connecticut, my game compared to Gavin's game, in Connecticut, my senior year was the first year Connecticut high school had a 3-point line. And I think I led my team in makes with about 5. So that was for the season, not a single game. So it was a very different game. I shot around 66%, 67% from 2-point range. So a very different game where we'd run picks and I'd get a layup, and just a very, very different game. So I wasn't that kind of shooter. When I went overseas, and in college I wasn't really a shooter either, but when I went overseas, it becomes, over there you shoot or you don't play. So I became a 3-point shooter over there. So his game now as a 16-year-old is similar to where I was as a 23-year-old, which is pretty impressive. But he's at a different level than me athletically. He can do things as a 16-year-old that I could never do, even as a 23-year-old. And the opportunities he has now with a group like the Expressions and the professional training he gets, he's got weights that he can lift all the time. He's got Brad Seaman, his coach at Kingswood, Oxford, is like a constantly doing performance training and all over body strength training with him. So he just has so many opportunities that we've been so blessed to have, that he's in a different level than I was. I mean, I was pretty good. I was, one of the better players to play at University of Hartford and Cheshire High School, but he's a different level than that. We tell Gavin since he was young and had a lot of athletic success that as proud as we are of what he does on the court, we're more proud of the things he does off the court. So when we hear him talking about how maybe he helped a kid out at school who was having a bad day, or somebody wasn't sitting near somebody at the lunchroom and he went and sat with them, those are the things that I think really make us even more proud of him than the things he does on the court. And you can see when he is with players, if you watch him at some of the tournaments, you see he's with a bunch of guys. He's got his arm around the guy's back, and he's talking to somebody. Maybe somebody didn't have a great game, and he's encouraging them. And those are the things I think, the kind of leadership stuff that really makes us tremendously proud of him. And I think that gives him sort of an extra potential that a lot of players don't have, because he can see that how he can help other people, not just himself.
Outside of basketball, I definitely want people to see me as a good person. I try and focus on my grades too and get decent grades, and yeah, I want to be known more as just more than just a basketball player.